Well, well, well. It looks like Orange Hitler saved the day again. The hostages are home. The remaining hostages are home. It looks like Donald Trump actually was able to push Bibi Netanyahu and the Hamas terrorists to a peace deal. So from here on out, I really don't want to hear anything more about Trump being Hitler or a fascist because, see, a fascist generally doesn't want peace. A fascist would just say, let's join Israel in slaughtering the rest of the people that live in Gaza so that we can take it over, right? That's what a fascist would do. So all the people, I must feel stupid being a Democrat or a lefty or a wokester or an anti-Trumper or a TDSer. It must really suck today that we got peace in the Middle East, right? It must suck, really. Those people don't want peace in the Middle East. They want Trump to fail. That's all that they want. And Trump just keeps on winning. I have to say, look, for me, the accountability thing has been taking a long time, but it looks like we might be actually getting it now. So that's good, right? But for Trump to be able to get this deal done means that everybody out there that's calling the guy a fascist or Hitler or whatever, that argument is now completely dead. You can't convince even the dumbest motherfucker on the planet that Trump is actually a fascist dictator that's getting ready to take over the world anymore. You got away with it for a long time with a bunch of dumbass people, right? Really. Bunch of people that only watch mainstream media, or in Germany's case, state propaganda media. And those people have fallen for this Trump is Hitler shit the whole time. But that shit is actually over. That's over, right? Because you can't make that argument with a straight face anymore, so you're just going to laugh out of the room. So that's awesome. Trump, another major win. Another major fucking win. And look, that's great, right? Trump has thus far been the best president I've ever had in my lifetime. And he might turn out to be the best president the United States has seen since the beginning, right? We'll see. He's still got 3 years to go. There's a lot of things that go wrong in 3 years. But if the things keep going right, the Democrats aren't going to win another election for a long, long time, right? Because they're also not learning their lesson. All that said, now that this peace deal is done, it's my opinion, right, that Trump now needs to break up with Israel, okay? Because the fact is, you can be friends without paying your friends' bills, right? There's no reason why American taxpayers and American money needs to be going to foreign countries to support their shit, whatever it might be. If it's in Israel's case, fighting a war in Gaza, why does America need to pay for it? Why does Germany need to pay for it? I think that it's time to really, for all of these countries, and that's what I hope Trump does, is force. What he's doing with Europe is perfect, right? He's forcing the European politicians to look at their countries and figure out solutions for their countries. Not worry about what's going on in fucking Israel or in other countries or what America wants to do. They want to force them, right? Trump wants to force them to work on their countries. Germany first, Italy first, Spain first, Holland first. That's really what he's trying to do, right? And I think he should do the same with Israel and in the Ukraine thing, right? I think Trump would be best to just go, you know what? Let Putin just win, because he's going to win anyway in the long run, right? And I think that's what Trump kind of doing. Trump is kind of like, all right, guys, look, I've tried. The Europeans don't want peace. Ukraine doesn't want peace. So then who am I to tell them they can't fight? But they're not going to do it on my dime. That's what's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to pass that shit on to the Europeans. Look, who's paying America? Is Israel giving money to America? No, because what's the point of giving Israel money and then Israel sending that money back to America? Who's aiding America? Who's aiding Europe? Are any countries out there giving foreign aid to any of us? I don't think there is. Why is every other place on the planet our responsibility as Westerners? Oh, because we have it better, or because we got our shit together. Or because, look, yeah, that might be true, but that still doesn't make it our responsibility. The fact is, it is up to the people in those countries to get a government that is going to help the country prosper. It's not up to my government or the American government to make sure that happens or facilitate it, unless, of course, we get something amazing in return, right? So like a minerals deal, for example, countries having problems, the people are being oppressed, but they got a lot of minerals, so you're like, okay, well, we'll help you, but when we free the people, we get to mine some oil or some lithium or whatever the fuck it is. That's a deal that you can do. But what the countries in the West are doing, including America, is they're just sending money with no particular reason and getting nothing in return. And that's what Donald Trump doesn't really like. So I think, I hope, right? I hope Donald Trump does it. Now, a lot of people are going to say, no, he'll never do it because Miriam Adelson and the donors and blah, blah, blah. Well, look, guys, Trump isn't getting ready to be reelected, right? He's not running for reelection. And I think that getting this peace deal done pretty much clears the tab for Trump, right? I mean, I would say that, look, Miriam Adelson donated a lot of money. She's very pro-Israel, and she got her money's worth. So now we're done. I did what I had to do to get that donation, right? That's what I think Trump's going to look at it like. And if Trump is smart, he will divorce from Israel, not be friends anymore. We're still friends. We're still buddies. Like, we'll share intelligence and all that shit, right? But if you get yourself into another war, you're on your own. I can't keep taking Americans' money and giving it to you. That doesn't work. We're not really getting that much in return, guys. So it only works with a quid pro quo deal, right? That's how it works. That's how it works for friendships too. See, if I need my friend to come help me paint my house, right, then he'll do it for free. Why? Because he knows that the next time he needs me to come and fucking help him landscape or whatever, I'll do it for free too, because we're friends. That's how it rolls. So that's how the relationships have to be. The relationships now are, we in the West just pay billions of our money to all of these other countries for what? For what? Right? And the answer seems to be, I think from the left anyway, is, well, we have it better than them, so we owe them. No, sorry, I did not sign up for that. There's a lot of people that have it worse than me in my country. I am not responsible for them. I'm sorry. I already pay taxes so that they can get free money, right? If they need it, if they're unemployed or sick or whatever. That's a good system. I pay for that. The system is fucked here, but I already do my part by paying taxes so that everybody can enjoy the things that they have here in the West. It can't be our responsibility to take care of and wipe every other country's asshole. It just doesn't work out like that. So this is the perfect time for Donald Trump to step away from Israel and say, Netanyahu, buddy, we're going to be buds, we're going to be friends, but it's going to be a reciprocal situation. It's going to be a friendship based on, I take a little bit, I give a little bit, right? That's how that works in real life. That's how it works. And I think Trump is going to do it, right? I really hope so. And again, he's not looking at being reelected. He really doesn't give a shit about getting reelected. Yeah, maybe if it really starts looking like it's going to be 2028, that there's going to be a loophole that'll get him in again, he's going to want to be reelected. But the chance of that happening is like almost nothing. So it'd be amazing. I'd be for it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's going to happen. So he doesn't have to worry about getting any more of Miriam Adelson's money. And like I said, again, he's already cleared that tab, I think. I would say he's the only president that's ever gotten this done. And look, he might not get the Nobel Peace Prize. Fuck the Nobel Peace Prize. You know what the Nobel Peace Prize has become? It's become one of these leftist organization things where they pat each other in the back and wipe each other's butts and go, oh, you're so great. You're so great. Like, who got the fucking Freedom Prize or some shit? Fauci or some shit like that. It's just them giving each other little pats on the back and shit because nobody else will, because actually they're not really delivering anything. So who gives a shit about the Nobel Peace Prize? Donald Trump needs to let that go. Right? I know that he wants to have it so he can rub it in their leftist fucking fat fucking fascist faces, but it's not going to happen. Okay, who cares? The world is still going to see Donald Trump as the man, right? It's time to bring up a little respect for the dude. And it's going to be even more respect, at least for me, if he does cut Israel off financially and militarily. They can buy weapons like everybody else, right? And they can pay the price for them like everybody else. Maybe they'll get a little discount or something like that because we're buds. You know what I mean? The friendship price, like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But it's time really for America first. And when I say America first, I mean every country in the world, every Western country has to start focusing on their countries first, because all of these countries are in shambles. They're in shambles. America's doing better than the rest of us, but they're also not in a really great position, right? It's going to take time to get into the great position, because the left and the lefties have had forever to fuck that position up, right? They've had forever, decades, to fuck it up completely. So it won't be solved in just one Donald Trump term. It's just not going to happen. I know we all want it to happen. It's not going to. So it's going to take a while. But that's why every politician in every one of these Western countries needs to stop worrying about what their neighbors are doing and what everybody else is doing and why they're doing it and morality and blah, blah, blah. And they need to start focusing on their own shit. That's what Donald Trump ran on. That's how he won. And that will be the winning course for all of these Western countries. I guarantee it. The politicians don't check. The European politicians, they don't know that. They're never going to learn, because they're globalists. They don't want their countries first. They don't care about their countries. They care about globalism. That's their agenda. You know what I mean? I don't even care why anymore. We've all racked our brain. Why are they doing this? Why would they want to do that? Look, it's really simple. They think that when the global government utopia comes, that they're going to have a seat at the table. That's why they're doing it. They think it's not a beatable thing. And the only people, like, for example, here in Germany, that think that they can beat this globalism is the AfD. AfD is about Germany first. Simple as that. That's who we want. Trust me. Most of us want the AfD. The elites and the establishment, they don't want the AfD. They're going to do everything they can to stop the AfD, like they did to Trump to try to stop him. But all over the Western world, those parties are winning. And so the attitude of the people also needs to change and stop following the globalists. Stop allowing your politicians to ship money in buckets and pallets all over the fucking planet. That's not your responsibility. Israel is not my responsibility. Israel is not America's responsibility. You know whose responsibility Israel is? Israel's. Same thing with Ukraine. Ukraine, if it doesn't want to lose every bit of its country, right, is going to have to do a deal with Russia that's going to benefit both Russia and Ukraine. Simple as that. As much as you hate it, you can think it's morally reprehensible, you can fucking think Putin, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't fucking matter what you think. The only way it's going to work is if they do a deal that benefits both parties. Simple as that. Just that easy. It's just that simple. Right? And that's how countries need to start looking at it. And look, for all the people out there that are like, but no, we have to protect Israel. We because we're Christians, or because we're Western, or because we're white, or because we know Jewish people, or because of the Holocaust, or because of Hitler, we must continue to. No. Listen. I know that we get lost in all the nuances and think that this Israel-Gaza conflict is super complicated. And there is complicated parts to it, absolutely. But let's run down a quick Cliff Notes history version of what actually happened here, right? After World War II, the Jews needed to be, because there was so much anti-Semitism in Europe, and they didn't feel safe, and probably rightfully so, and they needed a place to go, right? They needed a place to go. And some British bureaucrat that has nothing to do, I mean, it's not just one, but okay, a group of bureaucrats from the West, right? Thought, you know what? Let's carve out this area here, right here, because they used to be thousands of years ago. They were there. So, we can just give them this area. But they didn't really discuss it with the people already living in that area. So that's a problem, right? That's a problem. So they just took the Jews out of Europe and said, okay, y'all, boom, y'all can live right here, right in the middle of a lion's den. You know what I mean? The dumbest, I don't know. I don't know what brought them to think about this idea. But that was probably the fucking stupidest thing any politicians have ever done on the planet, is to put a group that is hated by everyone around into that viper's den, right? In the viper's nest right there. That seems fucking stupid, right? Why didn't they just put a place for him in Europe? You know what I mean? But okay, what's done is done. Just let's think about that for a second. That would be the same thing, right? Is if you're like, you bought a house, right? You bought a house, but it's too big for just you and your wife and your one kid. So there's a whole floor you're not using in that house. And let's see, the FBI from another country, not even your country, right? The FBI from another country, whatever it might be called there, comes to your house and says, guys, we know that you've got this room up here. We've got some immigrants that want to leave our country and come live in America. And we're going to go ahead and let them live up there in that floor in your house because we know you're not using it. So I think you'll be all right. Figure it out. Now, would anybody accept that? No. No. Right? And if they were forced to accept it, if the relationship didn't turn out really good, the people that originally lived there would probably just leave. Right? They'd be like, fuck this shit. This is crazy. Right? But that's essentially what happened with Israel. Right? Now, also, we can't ignore the fact that Israel, once there, started expanding. They wanted to take a little bit of the West Bank. They wanted to take a little bit of Gaza. They wanted to do this. And when that really wasn't a thing anymore, they said, okay, we'll leave, but we're still going to control everything in the area. So if you want to go to see a specialist doctor, you have to go through us. If you want to import, export goods, you have to go through us. You don't get an airport. You don't get a seaport. And you can't really export and import too much stuff unless we fucking say so. You can't travel unless we say so. You can't move unless we say so. And we control the electricity and the water supply into the country. And you're free now. That's what Israel's trying to say, right? Well, we left Gaza. Even the people that were living there, we took them out. Yeah, but you still control the whole place. You're still occupying these people. So I'm not saying that what Hamas did is good at all. Not at all. But let's be real. If China, right, started occupying America and calling the shots of what exactly is going to happen in America. President can't say shit, you know what I'm saying? Because China controls the deal. So they control what you import and export. They control what kind of business you can have. They control the electricity and the water supply. They control if you can see a specialist or not. Eventually, if the government doesn't do anything about it, right, and diplomacy doesn't work, eventually there's going to be groups that are going to violently fight against that. It's just that simple. If you're a captive in somebody's basement, the first chance you get that you think you get one over on that captor, you're going to take it. You might have to kill them, but you're gonna. Okay? So let's stop pretending that Israel is all clean on this, that, oh, they're just the victim and the Holocaust and look at this. No. That's bullshit. That's a childish way to look at it, right? The fact is they were put there by people that had nothing to do with that area, right? And told the people around to go, you just got to live with it. So good luck, right? Then when they got stronger with the support of America, right, they started taking over more land, right? When that was frowned upon, they said they were leaving, but they still controlled the whole place. So that's kind of the Cliff Notes version. Now, look, Hamas and the Palestinians are not free of blame at all. When there's war, it always takes two to tango. Abso-fucking-lutely. But the fact is, we do need to look at it like that. It's two people that are warring, right? It's two groups that are warring. And luckily, Donald Trump has now gotten peace in that area. If that peace lasts at all, right, which it looks like it's going to because the hostages are gone. Look, Hamas gave up its leverage. The hostages are the leverage they have, right? That leverage is gone. So I'm imagining this peace deal will stay. It will stick. And maybe something good will come out of Gaza, right? Or will become of Gaza. But that's going to be up to the Palestinians. I think that absolutely not. We in the West should be paying for any of the rebuilding unless we're profiting from it in some way. That means that if German companies, American companies go in there and rebuild and they make the money, fine. I don't want to pay taxes for it. And the reason why is because I'm not going to see any of that. I will not see a return on my investment because once you pay taxes, it gets in the hands of the government and the government just squanders your fucking money on shit and you never see a goddamn thing for it. So if you want to privately invest in Gaza, go make your money. Cool. I don't want to spend any tax money on it. Why? Because it's not my fucking problem. Right? Israel, I have nothing to do with Israel at all. I'm not even German, even though I live here, right? I'm not even German. I have nothing to do with it, right? So this shit has got to stop. Trump has got to cut Israel off. I hope he does it. I think that's the way to go. I think that is the way to go. If it's really going to be America first, you can't do America first if it's actually America first, but we're going to waste a little bit of our money, a little bit of our time, and a little bit of our energy on Israel first. That's not America first. That's America kind of first. And that attitude has to go. And I think Donald Trump's the only person that can bring it, right? And in the West, in the rest of the West, look, Israel, there's peace in the Middle East now. So that's it. They don't need any more money. You know what I mean? They don't need any more money. Israel should now go keep quiet for a little while, right? Let people start to slowly forget about this massacre that happened in Gaza, right? For them to gain any more traction in the PR game, their best bet right now is to go, Donald Trump's awesome, peace is awesome, we're happy, and now we're going to shut up for a little bit. But if you still hear them crying out about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that in Lebanon and Hezbollah, well, no. It's over. But whatever they do, they can do it. They just can't do it anymore with our money, our time, our politicians. They're going to have to go it alone, right? And just be actual friends, where both parties of the friendship get something out of it. That's my take. Glad there's peace. Now it's time to let Israel stand on its own 2 feet, guys.